Hello, Anna. Hello, everyone. Welcome. So, this is my first live Instagram, so I hope this goes well. So, welcome to Journey 2. So I'm going to wait just a little bit more to see if other people arrive. But yeah, for those who haven't heard of Journey 2, we're starting today. It's a 1-month theme that we're going to be working on every Thursday at 7 p.m. at this hour. Hello, everyone. And welcome. And so we're going to be doing a safe hip opening short sequence. So the idea is to help you out work on hip opening without injuring yourself and noticing differences and doing this mindfully. So most people wouldn't know what hip opening is. So working on the hip area and relaxing it, opening up. And this is a wonderful feeling, although generally it can be a little bit painful because we hold a lot of tension in that area. And we tend to work on it sometimes a little bit too far in yoga classes because we feel like we can go further and we really let go. And actually, sometimes that can lead to more injury than release. So we need to learn how to engage a minimum in the hip opening sequences, knowing that all of us have different hips and different pelvis. So especially between men and women, it's very different. Women have very open hips, and so we tend to go even further and injure ourselves easier. So we want to learn how to really be aware of that. Knowing also our flexibility in our tendons and our fascia is different. And we have to engage a lot of different groups of muscles. There's a lot of different muscles going on in this area. And so it's difficult sometimes to be aware of everything that's going on. So without further ado, we're going to go into this short sequence. And you won't need anything but your mat. If you're more of a beginner, you're welcome to use some blocks and a cushion. We might need that just to assist a little bit in the hip area. So let's see if everyone can see me. Yeah, I think this is all right. I hope the lighting is good. So we're going to start standing. So come to the top of your mat, and we're going to open our legs, hips distance apart. Stand up nice and tall, relax. And we're just going to start by taking a big inhale and exhaling it out through the mouth, just to relax before we start moving. So go ahead and close your eyes and inhale. And let it out through the mouth. And we're going to start by taking an inhale and reaching up our arms up towards the ceiling, and exhaling, pressing our hands into prayer. And as we press our hands into prayer, we're going to tilt our pelvis in. So this movement of going like this, I'm exaggerating it, but you're bringing your pelvis down and under and tucking your tailbone in. We're going to do that a couple more times. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands in prayer and tuck the pelvis in lightly. So we're trying to place the pelvis in a neutral area because we have the tendency of arching our back. Inhale, up, exhale. And one last time. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring the belly in. And now open your legs a little bit further wide, so just further than the hips distance. Inhale up, and with the exhale, we're going to fold forward and bend generously into our legs. So go ahead and take a nice bend into the legs. Release your hands down to the ground. Release the neck. And we're going to sway a little bit side to side. You can take your elbows into your hands and just sway side to side, still bending into the legs, making space in the vertebra, releasing the spine. Waking up the hips a little bit with the rocking movement. And breathing nice and deep. And slowly come back to center. Bring your hands down onto the ground and take a half lift. So plant your fingers into the ground. Inhale, bring your chest up. And exhale, release back down. And with the next inhale, we're going to come up and bring our toes towards the outsides of the mat. So feet are facing out. And exhale, come into a squat. So bring your hips down towards the ground. You don't have to go to the maximum. Bring them down and inhale, come back up. Bring the feet back in, facing the front of the mat, and release your chest down with an exhale. Inhale, bring your feet out to the sides, bring the chest up, and exhale, bring your hips down, slowly engaging your glutes. So remember to engage the glutes and you're pushing your knees out to the sides. Inhale, come back up, bring the toes facing the front of the mat again, and exhale, let it out. Relax your stomach when you exhale, making space for the spine. Inhale, come back up one last time, bring your toes out to the sides and come down to a squat. If this squat is very intense for you, feel free to take a block and put it under your bum here so that you can just settle yourself onto it. If it feels more comfortable, so that you can have your feet entirely on the ground with the heels on the ground. If you don't need that, you can take the block out and press, come facing this way, and press your elbows into your knees, come into Navasana, and just bring your hands in prayer. Remember to open your chest, have your spine nice and straight. And breathe deeply, engaging in the glutes, opening the lower back. So the hip area is also really connected to the lower back. Breathing deeply. Great. So I'm going to come back facing this way. And from here, bring both hands to the ground, and we're going to step back into downward facing dog. So bring the right and the left leg all the way back and push your hips up towards the ceiling. If you need to, go ahead and bend the right and left leg and start warming up the hamstrings a little bit more. And eventually come to center, bend both legs at the same time. Inhale and exhale, straighten the legs. Bring the heels down towards the ground, tilting the pelvis out. And with the next inhale, we're going to come into a three-legged dog. So point your right leg up, straight up towards the ceiling. Slowly, don't take it fast. And then bend the leg, open the hips, and stack the right hip over the left hip. Try to keep your shoulders facing the ground and just opening from the hip. And breathe here. And with the next inhale, bring the hips facing the mat again. And bring your right leg in between your hands to the front of the mat. And set your left knee on the ground into a low lunge. Bring your hands on the front leg. Untuck your toes. And I want us here to, with an inhale, bring your hips up so you're engaging the inner thighs. And exhale, come down. But when you come down, make sure you're not completely releasing down. So you don't want to overstretch. You want to have a minimum amount of engagement and having this movement of tilting the pelvis in so that you're opening from the chest and not the lower back. So it seems like a lot of indications, but it's just really subtle. And you can just try and see how it feels in your body. When you release entirely, you'll see that really pulls in the groin area. So inhale, come up. Exhale, release gently. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale, come up. And exhale down one last time. Relaxing the shoulders. And slowly we're going to come down. Bring your hands down on the mat, and we're going to come into a pigeon pose. So bring your foot all the way over to the left and bend into your legs. So bring the heel into the groin. The more you take your foot out to the side, the more intense this stretch is going to be. And if you need to, if you feel like you're really rocking over to one side, take a cushion and bring it under your hip so that your hips are facing the front of the mat. Same thing here, try to have this movement of tilting the pelvis in. So it's going to be very subtle because in this position you won't notice it too much, but it'll avoid hurting your lower back and making your chest open more. Inhale here and exhale, come down to the mat, bring your forehead onto your hands and release into the posture. Try to really relax your hips. So sometimes we clench in these postures because it's a bit painful when our hips are very tight. So relax your jaw and your face and breathe into it. Be aware of your knee also. If you feel anything happening in your knee that it feels tight, come out of the posture. So if you do have knee problems, always take it easy on yourself. And slowly we're going to come out of the posture. Bring your hands on your shoulders. Press into your legs. And we're going to come back into downward facing dog. So come back up. Take this cushion out of the way. And take a deep breath here and feel the difference between your right and left side. And with the next inhale, we're going to bring our left leg up into a three-legged dog. And bend the leg, open the hip, stack the left hip over the right, keeping your shoulders facing the ground. Relax your head. Inhale, exhale. And with the next inhale, bring your hips facing the mat again. And inhale, bring the left foot in between your hands to the front of the mat and the back knee comes to the ground. Bring your hands onto your front leg. And inhale, bring your hips up so you're tightening your inner thighs. And exhale, release down, but once again, not 100%. Just keep a minimal engagement here, tilting your pelvis in, engaging with your glutes. Inhale up, exhale, release down. Inhale up and come back down. Try to see if there's any difference between the right and left side, which generally... Sorry about that. I just had someone calling me. Okay. Sorry. So, I was saying, so release down and now bring your hands down onto the mat. And bring your foot all the way over to the right side and bend into the leg. Same thing here, you can bring a cushion under your left hip. And face the front of the mat, open your chest. Make sure you don't feel any pinching in the lower back. And breathe here. And bring yourself all the way down on the mat. Bring your forehead to the mat and relax in the posture. Notice the opening in the outer left hip and in the groin. And slowly come out of the posture. Take the cushion out from under you. And we're going to come to seated. So go ahead and sit down. Cross your legs. And we're going to grab onto our right ankle with our right hand and bring our foot into our elbow. Wrap our arms around the leg, straighten the back, and we're going to rock our leg from right to left. So make sure you're not rounding your back as you sit, not bringing it in like this. And you should feel a nice opening on the outer right hip. This is a very nice release. And slowly bring the leg back down. And bring the left foot up into your elbow, right elbow. And same thing here, flexing the foot and rock it side to side. Imagine you're rocking a baby. So your leg is your baby and you're just trying to put it asleep. Don't put your leg asleep though. That would be bad if it is. And just rocking it gently. And slowly releasing the leg down. And now bring both feet together, so the feet are touching, and you have about 2/5 distance between your heels and your groin. And grab onto your feet with your hands, open your chest, try not to round your back. Once again, relax your shoulders, and just flap your wings a few times like a butterfly. And come to stillness, and we're going to try to come forward. So always trying to come forward with the chest, so engaging from the glutes. Your glutes are helping to make space here, and gently pressing with your elbows into your legs, but really don't focus on bringing your knees down to the ground. So especially if your knees are tight, just be aware of that. And come forward slowly. Find that point of comfort. Don't go into that red zone where you're really pulling yourself to an extreme. It does no good. Then breathe into the posture. Can everyone hear me? I hope the sound is going fine. I think so. Someone's trying to call me many times, so I'm wondering if something is going wrong. Anyway, bring your feet to the sides and just sway your legs from side to side a few times. And relaxing the hips as we finish off here. And cross your legs, bring your hands on your knees and take a big inhale and exhale, release it out. And that's all for me today. I hope you enjoyed this very short session and that everything was clear enough. And in any case, I will be seeing you next week on Thursday at the same time for the class, and I'll be saving it on IGTV. And if you want to book a one-to-one class with any of our wonderful teachers on Miani, feel free to do that. And have a wonderful evening, everyone. Bye.